A new cyber attack hit Ukraine and unfortunately has now spread internationally, disabling certain businesses and making it incredibly difficult for some individuals to even access their own money at ATMs. Now, if you can remember, earlier this year, there was an attack that was known to everyone as the WannaCry attacks, right? And so individuals were unsure who or who these people include, essentially hacked into people's computers, encrypted their data, and then through ransomware were able to convince some individuals to pay up in order to re-access their data. Well, something similar is happening now. It's a series of attacks making use of dozens of hacking tools that were stolen from the NSA, National Security Agency, and leaked online in April by a group called the Shadow Brokers. What's crazy about this is, yeah, they used methods that were used by the NSA. And so as soon as those methods were made public and leaked to the public, hackers started utilizing them for their own personal gain. So like the WannaCry attacks in May, the latest global hacking took control of computers and demanded digital ransom from their owners to regain access. So this impacted a number of different things, including A.T.M.s, postal services, also railway companies. So here is a quick report kind of outlining more of the damage that's been done so far.
The worm is spreading around.
Among today's targets, pharmaceutical maker Merck, the world's largest container shipping company, Maersk, even the Chernobyl nuclear plant switched to manual monitoring to protect against attack.
This is a highly profitable business. You know, we have to remember that organized cybercrime totals up to almost $445 billion on an annual basis.
U.S. government security experts say this attack, called Petya, is similar to last month's WannaCry attack that was based on hacking methods used by the NSA, then released by hackers, exploiting vulnerabilities in the Windows operating system, encrypting data, and holding it all for ransom.
So they hold it for ransom and they ask for Bitcoins. And it's kind of incredible because in some cases they ask for as little as $300 worth of Bitcoin.
Yeah, it's not incredible. That's gonna lead to two of my theories on what actually happened here. Okay.
Oh, what's your theory?
So first of all, this Petya means little Peter in Russian, which is unfortunate. People are wondering, is it relevant that it was Ukraine that was attacked and it was right around their Independence Day from the Soviet Union? That's not an open question. Like, it could have been political. Of course it's political, right? Now, there's one of two options here. Either the Russians did it against Ukraine, or someone wanted you to think the Russians did it. But it is not there is not a coincidence large enough where Petya attacks the Ukraine around from when they got their celebration of independence from the Soviet Union. That is not a coincidence. So, but again, it doesn't mean that it is the Russians. It could be someone trying to throw you off the scent by pretending to be Russian.
Right, exactly.
And a bunch of Russian companies did get hit, so it's really hard to decipher, including Rosneft, their largest energy company.
I don't know if it's the Russians. I don't know who it is, and basically any type of commentary on who it is speculation, right? We're clear on that. No. However, I think it would be incredibly dumb for the Russians to call this Petya attack Ukraine first. Like it could just be a way of attempting to frame the Russians.
No, that's exactly what I'm saying.
Yeah.
So, of course I don't know which one of those two it is, but it is one of those two, which then leads to the other part when you mentioned the Bitcoins and the ransom stuff. They're asking for too little money. If these are this level of sophistication and being able to take down the web presence of some of the largest companies and governments in the world, and they're getting like a nickel and a dime. Last time when they did WannaCry, it wasn't that big a hit. It was a big hit, and what it affected in terms of how much money they got, it was very little. Same time this time, it seems like it's like you do a hit on someone and you go, okay, we don't want this to look like a political hit, so let's take his wallet, so they'll call it a robbery. You see what I'm saying? And both of them have the feel of something like where they're just beta testing, like they're just. The first one was the alpha, the second one was the beta. What's coming next?
Right, and I think what concerns me the most is, look, this sounds like an incredibly sophisticated cyber attack, but really it comes down to phishing, which has happened prior to the NSA's strategies being leaked to the public. And it's just so incredibly easy for any company to be targeted and also fall victim to this method, because there has to be at least one person within that company who unfortunately will click on the link in that phishing email, and then that'll compromise the entire, the servers within that company. And that's what's happening time and time again. Because of this spear phishing method, someone within the company will open a questionable email. And by the way, look, the onus is not on employees at companies to act a certain way. The onus is on, cybersecurity firms and, to some extent governments to make sure that they have certain safeguards in place to prevent things like this from happening. And of course, make sure that you update your software. There are software updates available both for Windows and also for Apple products. But why you have like this smirk on your face that's like throwing me off right now.
No, I'm sorry, because I haven't even gotten to my speculation yet. Okay, so those two first pieces are, I think, fairly clear. Now let's get into fun speculation. As I was reading the story, I was like, what if there's something wrong with the software used to fix all this? And they already know it. So they do one attack and everybody rushes in, everybody uses the software to fix it. They do a second attack, everybody uses the software to fix it. And then they unleash the virus in the software.
I don't know if
I have no idea.
Yeah, you don't.
I'm just saying.
This is almost as painful as hearing you talk about evolution.
Okay, listen. All I know is this isn't the real deal. There's a red wedding in our future. So these are, because it shows you what they can do, but yet they have not unleashed it in a pandemonium way that they could, affecting everyone. And Petya, by the way, does not have a kill switch. WannaCry had a kill switch.
Right.
So now the kill switch is gone, and this thing could be totally, utterly out of control. But we don't know what the objective is. Okay, now, last piece of, now again, this is in the bucket of speculation. Okay, as Bush, you say, speculation. What if it's the NSA? What? So the NSA stuff got stolen, which, by the way, thanks NSA, we really appreciate it. But if you wanted to look into Rosneft's records, you might call something Petya, do an attack against the Ukraine, and do it against a bunch of other companies while you go hit a Russian energy company and a couple of other Russian companies and get the info that you needed while pretending to hold them up for ransom. Da-da-da. Okay. In other words, we have no idea who did this.
Yeah, we don't. So we'll see how it plays out. But in the meantime, please save all of your important data onto a hard drive, separate from your computer's hard drive, obviously. That way, no one can hold your information for ransom. By the way, it's obviously a lot more difficult if you work at a company. But any type of sensitive data, I would even delete it from my email. Delete it from your email, save it onto your hard drive. Just protect yourself as much as you possibly can.
And I would add, dun 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 dun. It's soon not going to be funny. So this is my last chance to joke around.
No, it's not funny now. This has already impacted hospitals, and that's a disaster, right? They're unable to do procedures that they need to do because of the fact that their computer systems have been compromised.
Yeah, but on the other hand, they can't measure the radiation coming out of Chernobyl. You don't like ads? I hear you, brother. You know how you can avoid ads for the Young Turks? Become a Young Turks member and get all the content ad-free. TYTnetwork.com/join.